it's Antia Boyd.
And Boyd.
And we're the creators of the Magnetize The Man Summit. So really excited for you to jump right into the next interview because we have created this for you to stop attracting emotionally unavailable men, overcome your trust issue, and so much more. So you attract that right man for you that makes you feel seen, cherished, and supported.
Can't wait to see you inside the interview and get you on the path to magnetizing your man once and for all. See you there. Look forward to it.
Hi, it's Antia Boyd with the Magnetize the Man Summit, where single, successful women crack the attraction code and live their happily ever after. And today, I'm nothing short of a happily ever after. This woman has quite a story to tell. Say hello to Lisa Shield.
Hi, Antia. It's great to be here.
I'm so excited to have you, Lisa, because I'm really impressed already by you having created 12 weddings last year. I mean, that's really incredible after, really having 16 years of experience. That I know oftentimes it is really about the results that, like, even though you've been featured as a relationship expert in several outlets and magazines and having them post and things like that. And also, in addition to that, I think it's very impressive that you went on 96 first dates before attracting your man.
I sure did.
So ladies, what that tells you is it's never too late. Don't give up, and it seems like you might have to knock on a few doors before some open, right? So I'm really excited to have you here, Lisa, because you're really bringing in this hope for women to be like, okay, if they've been on 40 dates, and I know sometimes 40 dates feel like 400 dates, where is he already, right? So tell us a little bit more, why are you so passionate about and how you got into specifically helping those wonderful single women to, get married. I mean, we had 12 weddings last year.
I did. It's absolutely amazing. That is such a record for me. I'm shocked. So what happened was first of all, I was married to a sociopath and I left him. And then, when I finally got out of that marriage, I was with him for like 13 years, Antia. I finally woke up and I said, look, you got to figure this out, girlfriend. Like, you better look at yourself. He's got to figure out why he's a pathological liar, but you're leaving him so that you can get your life together. And so I spent about 8 years working with the best coaches and mentors I could find. And when I was all done, I still didn't have a guy. I was like still single. And so internet dating was really just getting started. It was in its infancy. And I was like, I'm putting up a profile. Like, I don't care. I am not going to be alone for the rest of my life. My big fear was cats. I didn't want to be a cat woman, but my bigger fear was chin hairs. And so I decided I was not going to have chin hairs in a house full of cats. And I was going to find an amazing man. And so I put up this one picture and a little funny short profile. And I went on almost like 96 first dates. And I met literally the love of my life.
So of course, I know what the women thinking when they're listening to this. What did you learn from those 96 dates?
Believe it or not, I knew when I went out there that I needed to sit across from men. I wanted, I had been so afraid of them my whole life. I really didn't understand them. My dad was a womanizer. He left my mom for another woman when I was like 8 years old and broke her heart. He shattered her, like literally. He just shattered my mom. And so she, I really didn't understand men. I had all kinds of judgments and ideas and whatever in my head, but I didn't really know them. And I'd never taken the time to get to know them. So I thought, look, I'm not going to rush into this. I've had relationships. I know I could have a relationship. I want to find the relationship. And so I said, I'm not going to rush into anything. And I had gotten to a point in my own life where I didn't need anything from a man. And I know lots of women say this, but it was like, I didn't need a man to tell me I was beautiful. I didn't need a man to make me feel important or valued or, whatever. Like, I wanted a man. I wanted a man more than anything in the world, but I didn't need a man, not in that way. And so I could sit across from these guys and like, there's something completely freeing, right? When you don't like, you're not looking to get anything. I didn't have that list of, like, this is what I need in a relationship. I just sat across from these guys and I was like, okay, show me what you got. Let me show me who you are. Show me what you got. Right. And I just I sat back and I just, I was me. I was loving and kind and compassionate. I practiced being playful and fun and just the best me I could possibly be. And then I'd sit back and I'd be like, okay, your turn. Let's see what you're up to. And, there were 96 guys that just didn't fit the bill. And then there was Benjamin.
I love that so much. And I love what you talk about because, Lisa, what I'm really hearing is that literally the dating for you was not necessarily for an outcome, but it was really like using dating as a process, right? And to have like a procedure, to have like an experience with men and allowing your body, your soul, your emotions, right? Like to become familiar, right? Not just like intellectually, because of course we get that, we watch shows or hear from girlfriends, but really like unconsciously become familiar with that masculine energy. That's what I'm really getting. So you're really shopping for that energy, for those attributes, and to really absorb that and integrate that.
Yeah. And the one thing, Antia, that I really figured out was that to love a man, like to truly love a man, you first have to love men. You have to understand them. You have to love their company. You have to learn how to be playful and at ease. Like, so many women go on dates and they want the guy to do all the work and they want the guy to like impress them,
Yes.
And it was like, this is a two-way street here. And I needed to learn how to take down my walls. And I see this with clients. If we don't take down our walls, right? And we don't make ourselves accessible and open, and if we're not having fun, and then we're sitting back and like waiting for this mysterious thing called chemistry to happen, but
right.
we're all, we're blocked up to here and we're
right.
shut off and we're not having fun and shining, it's not going to happen.
Right, exactly. You're so right about that.
So I figured out that to really love a man, I had to love men and I had to understand them, not in the way that, women understand men from a female perspective, right? And I'm sure you work on this with your clients. But from a male perspective, I wanted to know how a man wanted to be loved by me, not the way I thought I should love him, but the way he wanted to be loved by a woman, and then give him that. It's so easy when you really get it.
Yes, absolutely. And I love what you said, that you really have to love men, and like really all men, because oftentimes I hear women say, well, I'm not bitchy to all men, I'm just bitchy to the men who I don't really want them to be interested in me. And I said, but he's still a man, and unconsciously you're setting up this field, and you can't expect then out of the sudden that you're attracting Mr. Right, but you're being mean to all the other guys that didn't do anything to you. You just want to keep them at bay. What do you have to say about that, Lisa?
What is that women, like, so what? Like, why wouldn't you go on a date and be your best self? Just because you're nice and fun and playful, that doesn't, oh my God, I'm going to give him the wrong impression. I don't even get that. Like, that goes, like, why wouldn't you want men to find you fabulous? And then you get to pick the one that you want. And, you never know when you're on a date. Like, some dates can start off really slowly, or some people can be a slow burn, and you can turn around and really go, oh my, like, I had a client once, one of my favorite clients of all time, and I coached her for many years, and we went through several gut-wrenching relationships, right?
Mm.
And one day she was ready. It's like one of those stories. She was ready to take her profile down off of OkCupid. And
Mhm.
she got one email from this guy, one message from a guy who, she was like, well, he's in my industry. I don't normally date people in my industry, but what, why not? We'll probably have a lot in common. They met for coffee and it didn't go anywhere. And they were like outside the coffee shop saying their goodbyes. And he said, look, I don't have anything to do for the next couple of hours. I was going to take a walk on the beach. Would you like to join me? And my client, being who she is, said, sure, why not? Well, they're married and she is thrilled. Like this is the love of her life. They flew to Japan on a whim so that they could get married in front of her 90-something-year-old mother because she didn't want her mother to die without seeing her married. So,
Aw.
isn't that sweet?
I love that. I hear that so often, Lisa, that there's in the beginning, there's not this like chemistry or this instant recognition. And then for some reason, like that was like a random reason, right? Like they just kind of stay around each other for just a little bit longer. And out of the sun, what do you think shifts? What do you think that is? Because I've heard that before too, those stories.
I think, people like time, like all of like all of that pressure kind of fades away. They drop whatever that is and they really get present with each other in that moment and they just start to get real. And
Mm.
for me, I stopped waiting for that to happen because I just wanted to learn how to make it happen. So, that was my goal. I call my work emotionally naked dating. And the goal is how do you really intentionally set that tone? How do you go
Mm.
into a date and really create that deep emotional connection right from the start?
Oh,
And
I love that so much. And I love that you talk about the nakedness, the rawness, right? Because we have oftentimes those masks on and and the matching clothes to it, so to say. But we're not actually like being authentic. We're not really in our essence, but yet we expect a man to somehow see us and notice us while we're trying to be someone else.
yeah, I agree. And it's so, it's an art to be able to do this, but it's something that I work with my clients on. Like, this is not, so my husband is just an extraordinary human being. I can't even explain to you what a treasure this man is.
Mm.
And Benjamin understands deeply the art of connection. He's a body worker. He works on soft tissue injury. And I don't know if you know, Antia, what rolfing is, but he was trained as a rolfer and he works on soft tissue injury. So Benjamin said to me that when he meets a client for the first time, he literally has a matter of seconds to communicate to that person that I'm safe and you can trust me.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
he can do this within the first 3 seconds of meeting somebody. He has a way of walking up to a person and connecting with them. And he
Yes.
will, so on our first date, he walked up to me and I'm sitting down and he takes my hand and he looks straight in my eyes and he says to me, "It is so nice to meet you." And he
Mm.
paused and he looked straight into my eyes and made that connection. And
Mm.
it was a stunning moment. Like, I vividly remember that. It was
Yeah.
a life-changing moment.
Mm.
Just that one hello. I mean, that's how you can set the tone in an instant, and people don't realize this. And then I really want to share this because I think your audience will love this.
Mm-hmm.
He did something on the date that I could tell was intentional, but I couldn't put my finger on what exactly it was that he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that this wasn't like, he knew what he was doing when he did it. And so I asked him, I said, what was going on that? Like, what were you up to on that date, right? What was that? And he said so Benjamin wrote 4 books, 4 beautiful books with Richard Carlson, who had written Don't Sweat the Small Stuff.
Uh-huh.
Richard
Mm-hmm.
was Benjamin's best friend. He died, but he was Benjamin's best friend. And they wrote these 4 beautiful books together. And he interviewed Norman Cousins, I believe it was, who's a famous therapist. And Benjamin said that there was something about that meeting with Norman Cousins where it was like they were the only 2 people in the world. He felt this man present on a cellular level. And so Benjamin said it felt as if there was a bell jar that had been placed. You know what a bell jar is? It's like a bell, a jar, a clear glass jar. And he said it felt as if Norman Cousins had put a bell jar over like there was a bell jar over the 2 of them, and that they were the only 2 people in that moment. And Benjamin said, when I'm sitting one-on-one with somebody and having a conversation, I imagine that there is a bell jar over me and the other person, and that there are only the 2 of us in the world.
Oh,
Is
wow.
that just amazing?
Wow, that's so amazing. Like, and what a great visual to just bring into a date.
Yeah.
Because, you know, oftentimes we need some sort of visual anchor that just, oh, okay, if I visualize that, that helps me to really think more about, no, there is no neighbor, there is nobody around me, there's no car driving anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So powerful. So
literally, when he's talking to you, he will be right there with you. And if the waitress or somebody comes up, he will pause, like he'll give you this nod of recognition and, you know, for a moment, and then he'll look and completely connect with the waitress in that moment and give her his full attention. I mean, it's extraordinary to see, like, to be around a person who is literally like, does this to the level of an art form.
Right, right. And so, you know, we talked a little bit about your success stories, right? And of course, because that's what we're all kind of striving towards, not craving maybe too, you know, maybe women are craving that, but are really striving towards, right, that level of presence. And when you think about your especially your 12 marriages last year, right? What do you think was like the most important, like the pivotal point for them that really turned the ship around? Would you say there's like 1 or 2 similarities
in those relationships? I think mostly, if I'm in, like, the one thread that I would say to you is this, and I say this to your audience, when you're choosing a coach or somebody to work with, it is such an important choice. And my greatest piece of advice to anybody listening is that you choose somebody who has exactly what you want, because that coach or that teacher is modeling for you what's possible, right? You're not just getting information, you are downloading all of their success, all of the work they've done. So you literally plug in as if there's a matrix in the universe. Energetically, you are absorbing not just what they're teaching you, but everything that they've done, their energy, their success. And so the answer to that question, Antia, is that people come back to me and they will say to me, I met my Benjamin.
Oh, that's so cute. I could totally relate to that. People are always saying like, I want a Brody. My husband,
I want a Brody,
exactly. You know? So it's like funny that they're just like, that's my version. But it really shows you that they're really living in that frame of your relationship, right? That's what they're looking for, like that particular fragrance and essence and nuance that I call it like the vibrational fingerprint, right?
Yeah,
That's what they're really looking for. And that's what they're really picking up.
totally. So you want to find, I know, I mean, I don't know about you, Antia. I know so many clients, so many coaches um, who are like so young, they have no track record themselves, right? Like they make themselves into like Instagram persona dating coaches, but they don't even have their own relationship, right? And they're just giving advice or bringing on experts, but they're not in a solid, loving relationship that has legs. Like I've been 16 years with my husband. From the
Yes.
day we met, literally from the moment he met me on our first date, he went home and took his profile down. And we have been together for 16 years, like in the most magical relationship imaginable. Like I can't even, sometimes we feel like we have to, I mean, you may feel the same way, but Benjamin and I feel like we have to downplay our relationship because people can't believe that two people could love each other that much, right? We
Mm-hmm.
never, I mean, we really, literally in 16 years, we may have had 2 or 3 disagreements. And
Yeah.
it's not because we're not honest. Like we put everything on the
Mm-hmm.
table,
Mm-hmm.
everything. There's
Yeah.
nothing,
Mm-hmm.
right? That
Mm-hmm.
like, if Benjamin's upset about something, he would tell me like that. But I just listen. Like I don't get defensive. I don't like, I just want to know if he's upset about something. I want to know why he's upset so we can fix it. That's all, but yeah. So, I don't know. I got off track a little bit, but people
I love
just,
that you have this drama free. I think that's a decision women need to make too. Because Brody and I, we have the same thing, right? And I think there's something about letting go of this story of the drama, that it
Mhm.
has to be like hot-headed and door slamming and you know what I mean, and then passionately making love afterward, I mean, just that actually the long-term relationships, the happiest, they actually, like, there are not a lot of arguments, that there are quick resolutions because
Mhm.
you're so aligned with each other, right? And I love that you and Benjamin are just really just really embody that, because I feel it's so much about embodiment, that, and not just like some intellectual conversation, or right, like, because you pick up so much unconsciously, how you walk, how you breathe, like everything, how you're being in the relationship versus like just what you're doing, or what's the formula to get there. So
Yeah. I mean, he wouldn't put up with it anyway. Like
yes.
Benjamin, with like one time, I think I got mad at him and I was like, I can just leave. And he was like, what are you talking about? He was just like, he was like, what? He's like, what have we just been doing for the last 3 months? I've been committed to this relationship. And that was the end of that. Like, I was like, whoa, okay. We're not playing that game.
But notice also that he held space for you, right? Like
Mhm.
he really has this capacity to hold space for you, right?
Yeah.
And because he could have freaked out, he could have reacted, he could have said, I'm leaving too. If you're leaving, I'm leaving too.
Yeah.
Because and that happens in so many relationships, right?
Uh-huh.
So I really think it's super impressive that he's really holds that container for you, and let it's just really calm and just like, I'm here, you know what I mean? Come back when you're done with your whatever you're working through right now, but I'm
No,
not going anywhere.
he was not even like that. He was like, I'm not going to do this with you.
Right.
He was like,
You're more
yeah,
like
no, no,
that,
no. It was
you know?
like, we're not doing that.
Yeah, totally.
And I was like, oh, okay. I guess we're not doing that. It was just very simple. Yeah, it was great. Loved it. I loved it. I was so glad to, like, I was like, okay, that's the man I've been looking for.
So Lisa, now that we're at the end of our interview, what's like one advice or one quick tip or something that the women can start to implement today, that they can at least get themselves on track? Obviously not the whole track, because that takes more time, but just like a little snack that they can start taking on today.
Wow. Um, well, I would say, I'm just going to have to say that I feel like I'm where I am, and I would almost guarantee that you are where you are, Antia, because of the help of really great teachers and mentors. And I used to really be a person who thought that I was supposed to figure it out on my own, and
Mm,
that I didn't need help.
mm,
And that, I could figure it out. Um, and I think that one of my great lessons, just I'm going to be transparent with everybody. I went to a 12 step program for food for a while to look at
mm,
my compulsive eating issues.
mm.
And one of the things we learned in that program was that you can do it your way or you can do it our way, right? And it
Mm.
taught me to be teachable and to learn, and that that I would get much further, much faster by finding the right teachers and mentors and doing
Yes.
it their way. So
Mm. Beautiful. Beautiful.
that was great learning for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think people make the mistake of thinking that this stuff will self-correct. And I will tell you that every single day that you don't figure this out is another day that you don't get to spend with your soulmate. It's another day that you will never get to spend with your children if you want children. You don't get those days back. And when you do have children and find your soulmate, there will never be enough days with this person. I mean,
Yeah.
I've almost lost Benjamin 3 times now. He's almost died. Like, we've been at the hospital. I almost lost him 3 times, and I'm not exaggerating. So when you know how fragile life is and how short it really is,
Yeah.
and how rare it is to find this, you would not waste a single day. So get out there and get help,
Yeah.
and I want to say one last thing. Information is not transformation. So just
Mm.
because you read a book, just because you get those endorphin highs every time you have an epiphany or an aha moment,
Mm-hmm.
cannot take that out and apply it in real time on a date in the moment and make those changes, you are going to spin your wheels thinking you're getting somewhere, and
Yeah.
you're going to get nowhere. So find help, find the best coaches you can find. They're not cheap, but the best investment you can ever make is in your own self and in
Mm.
your own well-being. And I
Yes.
can promise you that that new bag, that Louis Vuitton bag, or that trip with your girlfriends may feel good in the moment, but this is the gift that lasts a lifetime. So
Mm.
don't miss out on it.
I love that you say that, Lisa. And for the women who say, well, it sounds like you're my mentor. It sounds like I want to get to know working with you, or like at least, finding out more about you, Lisa. Like what do you have for them?
Nothing. No. I'm just kidding.
Well, you're the first one to say that. How refreshing is that, right?
What'd you say?
Sorry, you're the first one to say that.
I'm teasing. I'm teasing. You're on your own, ladies.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Next.
No, I'm teasing. So my gift is that I have a wonderful webinar, and it's called How to Conquer the Dating World in 5 Simple Steps and Find a Man Who Will Cherish You, Adore You, and Love You Forever, even if you've never been in a relationship and are in a healthy relationship. So it's about 45 minutes. I put my heart and soul into this thing. So it's really beautiful, and there's a wealth of information. And if you like it and you really like me, you can jump on a call with me and we can talk about, it's a 1-hour coaching session, but we can talk about the possibility of working together on that call if I think it's a good fit.
Okay, awesome, ladies. And you also get the link below to the webinar on the ways to conquer love in 5 simple steps. We'll have that link below so you can find out more information about Lisa's phenomenal work and what she learned from her 96 dates. I mean, who doesn't want to learn that, right? Like, I would read a book about that.
I gotta say, I don't want the women thinking they need to go on 96
No,
first dates.
of course not.
I want to be clear about that. I don't want you to have to do that. That was just how my journey
You
was.
did it for them. You did it so they don't have to do it.
Yes. And
right?
one other thing, Antia, I have a Facebook group, a private group, and what makes it special is that there are both men and women in the group. So you get both opinions, and it's a very, very active group, and it's wonderful. People have even said that they met their partners just by hanging out in the group. It gave them so much help that it was that the group alone did that. And that group is called Dating Without Drama.
Cool. Awesome. Dating Without Drama. So ladies, you can hop on Facebook, Dating Without Drama. Awesome, Lisa. It was so nice to have you. Lots of resources, lots of invaluable wisdom that cut so many years off of experimentation and suffering and drama, and just walking right into the right relationship for you. So I really appreciate you being here today, Lisa. And
thank you.
And for the ladies, I'll talk to you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wasn't that absolutely delicious? We just love how every single expert has those juicy pieces of wisdom for you to enjoy. Look, if you want to own the entire Magnetize the Man series, we invite you to get our Magnetize the Man VIP All Access package. Not only will you own the entire video series, but also you will get our Magnetize the Man Masterclass that teaches you the 3-step formula, step by step, on how to attract the right man for you. You also get some other juicy secret trainings and a one-on-one call with me where we personalize your individual journey to attract that right man for you as soon as possible. So look, to get that, click the link below that says get access now, and you get it all. Own the entire series, including all the juicy bonuses, well worth over $1,400 for nearly the fraction of the cost. All right, we will see you in the next interview.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.
Mwah.